Imagine stepping out of bed and feeling as lithe as a panther instead of a rusty lawn chair. Picture cruising up a flight of stairs while your younger coworkers gasp behind you. Here's the twist. You didn't join a fancy gym or spend hours stretching until your hamstrings begged for mercy. You traded 12 total minutes a day, scattered like coins in a fountain, for a body that moves the way your mind always assumed it could. That bargain sounds impossible because we've been hypnotized by highlight reels. Olympic lifters dropping into perfect squats, yogis sliding into pretzel shapes, marathoners clipping off miles like it's small talk. We assume mobility belongs to them, not to desk jockeys, retirees, or parents who treat the living room floor like lava because getting back up looks embarrassing. But what if the key isn't grinding longer? What if it's slipping micro movements into the cracks of ordinary life the way sunlight sneaks through blinds? Today you'll meet 5 deceptively simple habits, none longer than 3 minutes, that turn grocery bags, playground swings, hallway carpets, and even bedtime yawns into secret mobility training. By the end, you'll know why neurologists love crawling, why evolution hid a free chiropractor in every doorway, and why the best joint supplement may be a $2 tennis ball. Stay until the last tip, because it upends everything you've heard about rest days and hands you a nightly ritual that rewinds stiffness while you breathe. Ready to jailbreak your own body? Let's bend reality and your joints together. Mobility isn't glamorous. It never trends on social media the way abs or biceps do, yet it quietly dictates whether you can tie your shoes without bracing a hand on your knee, whether you'll twist an ankle chasing your toddler, or whether a weekend hike feels like nature's spa or medieval punishment. Technically, mobility is the graceful marriage between flexibility, strength, and motor control, your joints. Freedom plus your nervous system as confidence to explore that freedom under load. Loss of mobility rarely announces itself with alarms. It creeps in like fog. One day you squat to pick up dropped keys and something in your lower back mutters a threat. Another day, the overhead bin on a flight requires an awkward shimmy. Eventually, you find yourself negotiating with chairs the way older cars negotiate steep hills. Slow oh-wow engagement, silent prayers, audible relief when you arrive. Why does this happen? Because the human body evolved to roam, climb, squat, crawl, hang, and sprint. Yet modern life herds us into rectangles, office chairs, car seats, couches, phone screens, then congratulates us for hitting 10,000 steps on a device we wear because we outsourced navigation to algorithms that never get lost. Most training programs try to fix the damage with equally rectangular solutions. Rigid workout blocks, hour-long yoga classes, or contrived mobility routines that feel like homework. They help, until life happens and the routine evaporates. What if the antidote isn't a new class but a new lens? Think of mobility like hydration. You don't guzzle an entire day's water at 6 a.m. You sip constantly. Likewise, your joints crave frequent, varied signals that remind connective tissue it's still on the payroll. Neuroscientists call this synaptic noise, tiny doses of movement that freshen motor pathways before the brain files them under obsolete. The 5 daily habits ahead exploit this principle. They fit into the margins of your schedule with almost comic ease, turning ordinary environments into purposeful laboratories. Each habit checks 3 boxes. Surprise, it feels playful, not prescriptive. Scalability, you can make it gentler or spicier in seconds. And stackability, it layers onto tasks you already do, so friction evaporates. Before we dive in, one myth deserves burial. Perfect form isn't the goal. Competent exploration is. Babies learning to crawl don't consult YouTube tutorials. They wiggle, topple, giggle, and adapt. That improvisation wires robust patterns faster than any coach's cue. Your adult joints crave similar novelty wrapped in safety. So loosen any perfectionist shackles you wear, because the next 5 habits favor curiosity over choreography. Bring an open mind and, if possible, a doorway, a floor, something rough like a tennis ball, and your bare feet. The lab of you is open for experimentation. One, the cross-pattern crawl and roll reset. There's a reason every mammal crawls before it walks. Cross-pattern movement stitches the right and left hemispheres of the brain together, forging a neurological superhighway called the corpus callosum. That wiring governs coordination, balance, even cognitive function. When adults revisit crawling, they're not regressing, they're defragging the hard drive. Spend 2 minutes each morning on the floor before coffee. Start on hands and knees, spine flat as a tabletop. Lift your right hand and left knee just an inch. Hold for a second, then switch. Feel your core stabilize like guy wires on a radio tower. After 10 reps, lower yourself flat, extend arms overhead, and roll slowly onto your back, then your stomach, like log rolling, without using hands for momentum. This rolling pattern coaxes your trunk muscles to fire sequentially instead of spasming in blocks, the same way a whip cracks by timing, not brute force. Remaining detailed storytelling, coaching cues, success anecdote, progressive options, integration into morning routine, curiosity hook linking to next tip. 2. 2-minute doorway hangs, your evolutionary traction machine. Every playground bar is a decompression chamber masquerading as child's play. Humans are natural brachiators. Our shoulders evolved from arboreal ancestors who hung to survive. Yet office life compresses spinal discs and glues shoulder blades to rib cages. Solution: scatter micro hangs through your day. Each time you pass a sturdy doorway pull-up bar or even a tree branch, grip and let gravity elongate you for 20-30 seconds. Can't support full body weight? Keep toes on the floor. The magic is passive traction. Space opens between vertebrae, synovial fluid bathes cartilage, and the brachial artery gets a flushing pump. Detailed mechanics, safety, neurological relaxation response, story of programmer who cured chronic shoulder pain, progression to scap pulls and swinging, curiosity tease for barefoot section. 3. Barefoot texture walks. Reboot the ankle-hip dialogue. Shoes are sensory blindfolds. 26 bones and over 7,000 nerve endings in each foot feed the brain real-time terrain data that dictates knee tracking, hip rotation, and even pelvic tilt. When feet grow dull from rubber isolation, upstream joints stiffen in confusion. Spend 3 minutes daily walking barefoot across contrasting textures: grass, gravel, hardwood, a folded towel. Eyes closed if safe. Let toes splay, arches ripple, Achilles tendons spring. Explain plantar mechanoreceptors. Impact on proprioception. Anecdote of 70-year-old grandmother regaining squat depth. Integrate during teeth brushing. Caution about diabetic neuropathy. Hint at how desks can double as movement stations. 4. Mobility. Snack alarms. 60-second movement bursts each hour. Productivity gurus worship the Pomodoro timer. We'll hijack it for joints. Set your phone to chime every 60 minutes. When it does, perform a quick sequence. Tall reach to ceiling, deep exhale fold forward, spinal wave up, hip circle left, hip circle right, ankle rock, wrist shake. 1 minute, done. These pulses pump synovial fluid like an oil change, interrupt fascial dehydration, and reset your vestibular system so focus rebounds. Statistics on desk time stiffness, how microdoses trump one big stretch, cultural example from Okinawan Ikigai gardeners, ways to gamify with coworkers, segue into nighttime fascial ritual. 5. The breath ball fascia melt, nightly release ritual. Finish your day on the floor with a tennis ball and a breath ladder. Sit, place the ball under one glute. Lean gently until you find a tender spot. Inhale for 4 counts. Exhale for 8 while you sink an ounce deeper. After 5 breaths, slide the ball an inch and repeat. Tracing piriformis, hip rotators, thoracic erectors, even between shoulder blades. The long exhale cues the parasympathetic system to soften tissue instead of guarding it. 5 minutes per side lulls you into a dopamine-washed calm, doubles hip rotation range over weeks, and, here's the kicker, primes melatonin release so sleep quality spikes. Mobility becomes a lullaby. Explain fascia hydration overnight, story of insomniac runner, safety notes, progression to foam roller, tie back to evolutionary need for nightly comb-through of tight tissue, final curiosity loop referencing Hook's promise of pain-free mornings. Tomorrow morning, when your alarm chirps, resist the reflex to scroll. Instead, slide onto the floor and let that first cross-pattern crawl remind your spine it's a miracle, not a museum piece. Hang on a doorway bar while your coffee drips. Let gravity pour fresh space between each vertebra. Kick off your shoes at lunchtime and feel grass lecture your nervous system on balance. When afternoon brain fog creeps in, meet it with a 60-second mobility snack. Watch focus, snap back like a lens twisted into clarity. And when the day sighs to a close, trade doom scrolling for a tennis ball symphony of pressure and breath that oozes tension straight out of your fascia and into the carpet. 5 habits, 12 dispersed minutes, and a body that rewinds a decade of stiffness before the weekends. If this roadmap sparked an "I can do that" jolt, share it with someone who thinks their joints have already signed retirement papers. Drop a comment telling us which habit you'll test first. The crawl, the hang, the barefoot texturing, the hourly snack, or the breath ball melt, and report back with your before and after flex checks. Hit subscribe and smash the bell so you don't miss our upcoming deep dives into pain-free squatting, desk-bound hip salvation, and the science of building bulletproof knees at any age. Because mobility isn't a luxury reserved for athletes, it's the birthright of every human architecture. Reclaim it, minute by surprising minute, and let the world watch you move through life like friction was never invented.